Hello friends, today I'm gonna show you how to make this beautiful crochet chevron pattern which you can use to make blankets of any size. For this tutorial I'm gonna be using the Karen Simply Soft yarn in soft pink color, that's this one, and the Red Heart Unforgettable yarn in gossamer color for these rows. And I'm gonna be using a 4.0mm crochet hook today for this tutorial. For row number 1, you're gonna make chain stitches in multiples of 29 because you need 29 chain stitches for each chevron. So as many number of chevrons that you need, you're gonna make that many multiples of 29. Once you're done with that, add 5 more chain stitches for the sides so you get a clean edge on either sides. So 2 chain stitches on either sides and 1 chain stitch for turning. If you use the same yarn and the same hook, which is 4.0 as mine, each of your chevron is gonna be around 6 inches wide, and that's how you can calculate how wide you need your blanket to be and make that many chevrons. So for today's tutorial I'm gonna make 2 chevrons to show it to you how it goes. That's 29 plus 29, that is 58, and then add 5 more, that's 63. So let's start with 63 chain stitches for my foundation row. Start with the slip knot and do 63 chain stitches. I'm done with my 63 chain stitches, and for row number 2 I'm gonna start with a single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. This is gonna be your turning stitch, and do a single crochet in the second stitch, a single crochet in the next one as well, skip the next one and do 13 single crochets in the next 13 chain stitches. So this is gonna be the uphill of your chevron, so it's gonna be 13 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. So 13 single crochets. In the next one, that happens to be your peak of your chevron, you're gonna do 3 single crochets in the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna do single crochets in the next 13 chains. You've reached the valley of your chevron, so you're gonna skip 2 single crochets and repeat the same thing that you did earlier, which is 13 going up, 3 single crochets on the peak, and then 13 going down. This is the pattern that you're gonna repeat till the end of your row. So repeat this till you have 3 chain stitches left in the end. So once you're done with the repetition for the chevrons, you should see this nice structure coming up, the nice wavy things. You'll be able to see it more visibly. Now and you should be left with 3 chains at the end of your row. So I'm gonna skip 1 and single crochet in the last 2 to match the way we started. Now for row 3, chain 1 and turn your work, and row 3 is just gonna be a return pass in this pink color. So you're gonna do exactly what you did in row 2. Start with a single crochet in the first stitch, in the next stitch as well, skip a stitch and start with your first chevron, which is 13 single crochets going up, 3 single crochet in the peak stitch and 13 single crochets going down. Skip 2 and start over again. So let's do that. Just like row 2, at the end of row 3 you should be left with 3 single crochets. So I'm gonna skip 1 and do 2 single crochets in the last 2. But since the next 2 rows are with the next color, I'm not gonna complete the last single crochet but take in the new color. So take in the new color in the last single crochet on this row, and we are ready to do row number 4. So for row number 4, chain 1 and turn your work, and this is a row of double crochets. So we're gonna start with a double crochet in the first stitch, that's this one. So double crochet in that stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch as well, skip the next and do 3 double crochets to form a cluster in the next one. So that's this one. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets in this one. That gives me a nice little cluster. Chain 1 and skip the next 2 and do 3 double crochets in the next one. Again, chain 1, skip 2, 3 double crochets. You're gonna repeat this till you reach the peak stitch on this side of the chevron, and that's gonna give you 5 clusters on this side. So chain 1, skip 2 and 3 double crochet. That's gonna be your repetition on each side of the chevron for this row. 2, 3, chain 1, skip 2, 3 double crochets. Now you see that I have reached the peak, so I'm gonna stop here, and you're gonna get 5 clusters on every side of the chevron, either going up or going down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now once you get that, at the topmost stitch you're gonna do 3 double crochets in that stitch. 2, 3. That's the end of this side of the chevron. You're gonna start the downhill side. So you're gonna repeat the same thing, which is 3 double crochets in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 2 and 3 double crochets. Three. Do this till you hit the valley right here. And just like the other side, on this side as well, you're gonna get 5 clusters of 3 double crochets. So now that I've got 5 clusters of 3 double crochet, I know I have hit the valley. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to skip 2 to maintain the V structure, and then start the next chevron going uphill. So that's gonna be the same thing. 3 double crochets, chain 1, skip 2, 3 double crochet. And you're gonna repeat this for as many chevrons as you have till you are left with 3 stitches in the end. At the end of row 4, you should be left with 3 stitches. So I'm gonna skip 1 and do a double crochet in the last 2 to end this row just the way like you started. For row 5, chain 1 and turn, and this is a row of single crochets. So I'm gonna start with a single crochet in the first, in the second, skip 1 and do a single crochet on top of the middle double crochet from the first cluster. That's this one. Skip the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the gap that was formed by the chain 1 from the previous row. Skip 1 and single crochet in the middle stitch. Skip 1 and 2 single crochets in the gap. You're gonna repeat this till you reach the peak or till you cover all of the clusters. So single crochet on the middle stitch and single crochet in the gap. So single crochet in the middle stitch and 2 single crochets in the gap till you reach the last cluster. So I'm at my last cluster here. So I do my single crochet on top of the middle double crochet, and this being my peak stitch, I need to do a single crochet on top of each of the 3 double crochets. So 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, and then follow the same pattern like you did for the uphill side. That's skip 1, single crochet on top of the middle stitch, 2 single crochets in the gap. Single crochet on top of the middle, 2 in the gap, middle and in the gap. Continue this all along this side until you get onto the last cluster and you hit the valley. So that's my 2 single crochets in the gap and the last single crochet for this side. Now I've hit the valley, so I know that I need to skip 2 stitches to maintain the V structure. So I go on to the middle of the next cluster, and then the same thing all over again. 2 single crochets in the gap and 1 single crochet on top of the middle stitch. Continue doing this till the end of the row until you are left with 3 stitches in the end. At the end of this row, just like every other row, you'll be left with 3 stitches. So you're gonna skip 1 and do single crochet in the next 2. And since the next rows are with the pink, I'm gonna change over to the pink before I end my last stitch. And we are ready for row number 6. So row number 6 onwards, you're just gonna repeat the last 4 rows that you did. That's 2, 3, 4 and 5, and it's just gonna be repeating till you reach the desired length of your work. So let's do one more row together, and I'm gonna leave you to do the repetitions. So for row number 6, just like row number 2, I'm gonna start with a single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, skip 1 and 13 single crochets going uphill on this side of the chevron. So do 13 single crochets going uphill. At the peak, you're gonna do 3 single crochets in the same stitch. Just repeat row number 2, and then you're gonna do 13 single crochets on the side going down. You hit the valley, so you need to skip 2 and start the uphill side of the next chevron, again doing 13 single crochets on this side of the chevron. Continue doing this till you have the last 3 stitches, and you're gonna end the same way like you started, with skip 1 and 2 single crochets to end this row. At the end of this row, just like any other row, you're gonna be left with 3 stitches. So you're gonna skip 1 and do a single crochet in the last 2. Chain 1 and turn to do row number 7. Row number 7 is gonna be an exact duplicate of row number 3, and like I said, you're just gonna repeat these rows for as long as you want your work to be. And as you go on repeating, you're just gonna get a very nice pattern which you can make as long as you want and as wide as you want. That's it for the tutorial today. Please do share your work on our Facebook page, and like, share and subscribe to my channel to show me some love. I'll be back next week with another beautiful crochet pattern. Till then, stay safe and happy crocheting.